Hello, 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 and welcome to SpeedGaming 5. You have tuned in to the conference finals game 4. Today we have a great matchup between JKLOL and Oops All Foxes. I am Dapper Wormman. I am joined in the commentary booth today by Radical Sniper 99. What do we have in store for us today?
So yeah, game 4, we have hard Enemizer. So that's the hard item pool with an Enemizer going on. So we've got all the enemies are shuffled, and we have a Chaos Boss shuffle. So not only could you see 2 Trinex, you could see 3 or 4 or even more. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, you might have even seen 0 Trinexes. It is chaos.
Or that, yeah.
We could get all sorts of combinations. There's just too many to think about. And in addition to that, we also have the hard item pool today. So we're not going to be seeing silver arrows or gold sword or anything like that.
Yeah, 14 hearts, no armor upgrades, no silver arrows, no gold sword. You can get up to a fire shield. Not that I think our runners care about shields too much. Half magic is still in the pool. This is not like what we did for SGL with the disabled half magic and the reduced bottles. However, so 4 bottles are possible. Half magic is out in the world. So still should be plenty of options for our runners. And it does look like we are about to start.
Yeah, we're really going to like seeing those safeties. So, JKLOL, how did they get here? They went 3-1 in rounds 1 and 2. And Oops All Foxes, they went 3-0. So, interesting here that JKLOL has the experience with the game 4, where this is Oops All Foxes first. I believe we got a map check there, and that was a pendant on Hera.
Yeah, we had regular crystals at Eastern and Desert Palace. Both of our runners giving us the Uncle start. We had a full magic drop off of that mini Moldorm. And tier 1 just giving us $5, but both of our runners are going to fully take advantage of that for now.
And taking our allowance from the uncle, just $1 today.
Kazan realizing he was in a bit of a tough spot there, and we really do want that chest. That is a sword.
Yeah, that's a great item to find. Usually you get an uncle and sword in your NMG run, but we're going to find the sword in the chest today, and I think both are going to try and go. Now, here's an interesting thing. When you die in that uncle, oh, I thought you might start with the uncle, but that's only in NMG runs, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like you just get the normal spawn point at either Link's house or Sanctuary, and Adalor's just going to go right back into the escape sequence.
Yeah, it looks like Adalor wanted that escape. Kazan said he was done with that. So we'll see what the inside of Hyrule Castle looks like. The only problem here, of course, is how adventurous do you feel? Like, if this first chest gives us the small key, you know, do you want to go after Dark Cross and the back? Or are you waiting? So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Those dark rooms can be pretty tricky. Sometimes they can be very friendly, but more often than not, you get like a Lionel in there or something that just snipes you from afar. You don't even see it coming.
And we got a mushroom on the lumberjack ledge, so we'll see if that becomes an issue. Can't imagine either runner's going to prioritize that, even knowing that it's there.
Yeah, you hate to see a fetch quest as a visible item that leads to another fetch quest. You don't even know what its real value is. But it is good to have that information on Kazan's side.
And so far, just 2 20s inside of Escape for Adalor, so nothing of too much value yet. So yes, this is Game 4. Game 1 for this series was this past Wednesday, with Leoria taking on Adalor and Kaz Boots. Games 2 and 3 both occurred yesterday. There was an early afternoon match between myself and Zeruvian, and then last night for the nightcap, we did have Kazan versus Chloe. So, and that has put us at this current 2-1 spot.
And just the map in Zelda cell, so now that means we're going to get the small key somewhere either in Dark Cross or back of Escape, as we have that heart piece there in the Uncle, or excuse me, not even heart piece, a full heart in the Sanctuary.
And the well is loaded, but no bombs yet for Kaysden. We did get a flute and a glove.
That flute is really nice, especially right here. You can just turn it right in. Give a little toot toot on that flute.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have a fish. You know, everybody's favorite Enemizer strategy, look for the fishies and give it to the bottle vendor.
Yeah, you could do that in, not Enemizer seeds as well, but it's a pretty long walk from Lake Hylia Island or from the dam.
Yeah, definitely not as great of a walk to do that fish from the dam up to Kakariko. As we get the hook shot now out of the back of the tavern. This is a Stackerico in all senses.
Yeah, hookshot is really nice, especially in Enemizer, because it stuns about 90% of the enemies that you might run across.
Yeah, and in terms of being a kill weapon, it actually is a really great piece as well. As we do enter the most scary building in the game, Chicken Hut. What do we got? Oh, wow. This is not the worst kind of Chicken Hut we've ever seen.
Yeah, you get the killable thieves. That's really nice. Sometimes you see a bunch of red guards in here that just go aggro as soon as you walk in, but that's not the case today. And unfortunately, spending a bomb for a little bomb refill that Kazin already has full capacity in.
So Adalor, giving his money situation, says, I'm just going to head straight to the back of the tavern. Because he knows he'll get at least the rupees to pay off Bottle Vendor after this.
Yeah, I gotta minimize the double dipping into the well here that Kazin did. I don't think Kazin went into... Oh, that's funny, bombs in the back
Yep,
as well.
of course.
I don't think he went into Blind's hut specifically because he doesn't have bombs.
Yeah, Kazin avoided that, so he won't double dip Blind's Hut. And usually that just has to do with the fact that Blind's Hut just takes more time, I feel like. A lot of runners will say, I don't mind double dropping the well, but double dropping blinds is not nearly as good. And oh, we got the hammer already as well. This seed is opening up quick.
Yeah, we just need that Moon Pearl, and we're going to have Dark World access about 6:30 right here. This is pretty interesting seed so far. And just 300 in the back. Hazen's going to walk out, probably check a couple more things at the far south of Kakariko here.
Okay, so a couple of little things to keep in mind for this. We did say it's Enemizer. One of the new features that they added to Enemizer this season is the compass. So usually, you would be gambling on a boss in a dungeon. You'd walk into the boss room and hope you could kill it. One of the changes that came out with the most recent updates is if you find a compass to a dungeon and you do a map check inside the dungeon, you actually know who the boss is.
Yeah, that is really helpful. Unless, of course, the compass is on the boss, which can happen.
Yeah.
But you hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the one drawback. But, you usually hope it doesn't turn out that way. We get 20 bucks there on the race game, and Kazin is going to flute away. Looks like, okay, we're going to get actually a desert area check real quick. Maybe we'll get Agina as well.
Yeah, this is a lot more convenient with that flute in tow. So Adalor did pick up the flute and has not turned it in yet. I was wondering if they might want to save and quit out of the bottom of Blind's hut because it's kind of a long walk out, but had to get the bottle vendor as well.
And I think still has to check out race game in the library, so probably a couple of checks still to go.
Yeah, so we get our first peek into the desert cave here, and it is our first bottle.
That's definitely a great find this already.
Yeah, bottle is a safety item. It could also be a progression item since you need to go to Sick Kid with a bottle to get the item from him. It's pretty quick check here with the flute. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kazden pop over there real quick.
And he is. Good call. Yeah, that flute just makes this so convenient to do anything in this seed. And just a lot more money. Not a bad find this early. Unfortunately, without Pearl or Flippers, doing any fake flippering really still leaves us not being able to hit the waterfall. So we'll see if that actually is a thought, even with the fact that, honestly, do you like swimming with fake flippers in Enemizer?
I do not. For those of you who don't know, when you're in the fake flipper state, one hit will just kill you automatically. So I mean, you're not losing like possible progression. You're just going to have to start your game over from, excuse me, do the start menu from one of the spawn points. But so it's not a really big risk for potentially a good reward, but it just doesn't feel fun to be wasting time to be dying in that fake flipper state.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things we saw during the regular season for week 7, Enemizer, as we get, I wouldn't call this a vanilla, but this isn't too bad. With the starting boots that we had for that week, a lot of runners and teams were kind of like, oh, water walking's cool, to get through the water and do all those checks. And both runners very quickly through that. Adalor just even a little quicker. Really nicely done. More money, a couple of heart containers as well. Bombs and bombs. So, not too bad.
Yeah, getting a little double vision here on both sides. Pretty interesting. After all is said and done, they've done basically the same checks. Kaysen's gotten that bottle and gotten the sick kid check, and now they're both, of course, following each other's footsteps on their way to Ice Rod Cave. So you talked a little earlier about games 1 through 3, and obviously we are playing in game 4. So Kaysen was the power player who chose the mode in game 3, and I believe Adalor was the one, since they are the lower seed, choosing Enemizer in this matchup.
Yeah, and that's been the situation for Oops All Foxes every series even. We talk about the fact that they did sweep, so they didn't enter a game 4 to begin with. But the other piece of that is they've been the low seed in every series. So for them, this is kind of the norm. This is a first to have a choice of a pick here. In their first series against Dark Side of the Triforce, they were second place in their division, and then they played a division winner in the second round with Dante Made Us Join. So in both those series, they were the low seed. They've never actually had the chance to pick a game.
Yeah, they ended up sweeping, even though, as you said, they were the lower seed. That's pretty remarkable, to be honest. Kaysen is going through the Old Man Cave and doesn't seem to be too tricky today in Enemizer.
Yeah, it didn't seem we had any Lionels or Rollers or any of that stuff. None of the junk enemies.
And it's always nice to have him saved and get that quick spawn point up there on the mountain for all of your inevitable trips back up there.
Meanwhile, Adalor getting that 300 we saw earlier from Kazden. So really the only difference here is just a front of escape for Adalor and a mountain begin. And we need a mirror. And that's a book. Oh, man.
Okay. Yeah. But we see that moon pearl up on that spectacle rock. That does require that mirror.
And we have our first roller here in the eastern area. Luckily, Adalor able to get around it. We got... Oh, there's another one. I spoke too soon. Oh my gosh, there's lots of rollers.
Well, no wonder Sahasrara just stays in his HUD.
Meanwhile, Kazan setting up for that bomb jump over Spectacle Rock. Very nicely done. And Sahasrara's Closet giving us the cape. So yeah, this is a great mode just for the fact that there is almost no way to tell how things are going to go. Whether you feel like you're the better player or the worst player, and not to say any team is bad at this point. We are talking conference finals, so one of the last 4 teams. But this can be an equalizing mode, generally speaking. It's so easy for something to feel. Oh, Darn, Adalor taking that death on that pokey.
Oh, those pokies do a lot of damage on Greenmail.
Yeah, we're gonna be on Greenmail this whole race. But you almost pick when you pick this kind of mode, which you're almost throwing it out any advantage because it's just so easy for things to be crazy in one direction. Like this could be easy in some regards, or this could be absolutely painful. And we're starting to see some of that we got a Gibdo inside of Paradox Cave 5, and the back of escape wasn't much better.
Yeah, opting for some spins there. I know that he has the hammer, which does tempered sword damage, but that can be a little tricky with the hammer's hitbox.
Yeah, we did get Ether Medallion out of the back of escape, so not a bad find.
Did we get the key in escape, or is that going to be in Dark Cross?
I
Or
don't
did
think
you?
we've seen it. So yeah, key is in cross.
And our tracker, Leoria of Light, also a member of JKLOL, in chat helping us out, tracking all the items that these runners get when we just happen to not see them. Thank you very much.
So yeah, at this point, it's looking like either Hera or possibly Desert. Maybe even actually, it's going to be in a dungeon, I guess. At this point, really, that mirror has to be in one of them, or as Leo pointed out earlier, this could be a situation where we find a lamp, and Aga becomes the answer.
Yeah, we do have that cape, and either that or a sword upgrade will get us into Aga Tower. We could have like Mir on Pyramid Ledge or something like that.
But Kazan making his way over to Tower of Hera, so gonna at least go after this Hera play. We do know it's a pendant, and there is definitely still bosses we cannot beat here. And before Kazan even goes in, he's deciding, let me read a tablet.
Yeah, he can't get this because you're going to need Master Sword or better to pick up the item, but we can get the information, and it's that mirror we need.
Oh, wow. That's a funny one.
So is the sword, in the light world in one of these dungeons, or is the sword on the Pyramid Ledge after we defeat Aga 1?
Oh, that's great. I must say, this is hilarious for a start. Get ready, folks. We are going to have a great time looking for this sword.
The good news is Adalor also has that book and is going to be able to get that information. We get the big key. Not surprising considering we don't have a fire source, and so now we can go up and, go higher in this dungeon. Gonna set up a very interesting Herapod here with that Beamos just staring him right down the eye.
Yeah, it was quite the idea there for Kazan. Unfortunately, down to such low health, he cannot try again. So even if he was going to be able to do it. But Kazan, yeah, there we go. There's that stun prize. Really nice. Maybe we see some more use of that to get some more health. Depending on what the boss is upstairs, I think, at least we hit the safety switch here as well.
Yeah, hit that so that the blue blocks are up and you can get some hearts in the boss room. Now, this is a pendant, so we might not even need to beat the boss. I believe we got an item in the basement.
We're not sure, but there is a bow, and logically, that is technically required.
Yeah, I think Kazan's counted his items and he's going back out because he knows there was like a rupee or something in the basement.
Yeah, there was a rupee in the basement.
Yeah, the first basement, not the fire locked basement. And so he's just leaving and gonna go check Spiral Cave, I believe.
Yeah, this is in Kazan did play yesterday with the MC shuffle, and in that mode, of course, we do have the possibility of saying extra items per dungeon. This is not. None of the dungeon items are shuffled.
Yeah, so we're good on him on remembering what mode he was playing, especially because he played one about less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah, with schedules, this series is going to come to a close either today or tomorrow. Little sneak on the idea that it looks like a potential Game 5 is going to go on the schedule for tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure JKLOL is hoping that there is no Game 5, where Oops All Foxes is hoping that their co-op entrance practice has been paying off. And that was just, what, a piece of heart there in Spiral Cave, so Kaysden is off to greener pastures.
And I think for Kaizen, Eastern Palace is the play. Yep, no surprise there. The bow logically is still required for Eastern, even if the enemies do not kind of make that the case. So, for example, the back of Eastern Palace could be, we have none of the Igors. So you wouldn't need a bow to get to the boss. The game logic is still under the assumption you did have one.
Yeah, that can be a little bit tricky to wrap your head around, but the old tried and true ideas of a bow leads to Eastern and Pod is still relevant here.
And Kaizen does get that health refill as well as the cape. So we'll see how much he takes that into account trying to get into Eastern, and if he has any difficulties similar to what we saw from Adalor.
Yeah, definitely got to be liberal with the cape usage, I think, when we get a little bit farther
Yep.
up.
Kaizen already has it to get past the chomp, and he's got it at the ready. He knows this is not a safe area.
And kind of sneaks past that pokey. Good job.
Yeah, and he was going with the same strategy we actually saw from Adalor that didn't work out. It just happened to work in Kaizen's case.
Still didn't use that cape, though. I think he had a little bit more hearts to tank some of the damage, though.
Yeah, sometimes, there's that health refill for Adalor, and Kaizen had gotten the health refill right at Saha. So, just the difference of when you get that last piece of heart can just make such a difference. So the way Enemizer works with kill rooms is technically it is the most basic killable enemies. So it assumes you can get the job done, I believe, usually with just bombs. So any
Yeah.
kill room will say you should have bombs. It's not like they'll put red mimics or red Igors or freezors or something. Like that isn't part of the logic.
Yeah, picture like the standard escape sequence where the uncle gives you bombs, and because the game knows that you can beat those guards in the escape sequence, it kind of treats every kill room like that. Because you're gonna have to kill the room to open the door or get the key or whatever.
Yeah, so generally speaking, like the kind of enemies we're gonna see in kill rooms, expect a lot of mini Moldorms, a lot of mini Helmas, the shadows, maybe some Wizrobes. Those are your typical enemies, and there's that sword to go get our mirror and pearl. So that really is unfortunate for Adalor. Could have had that sword first trip up.
Yeah, they actually, wouldn't have had the bow, so they probably were gonna have to double dip this anyway. But not having that Moon Pearl, having to make another trip up the mountain is going to be a big time sink. They don't know, but Kaizen is also going to be making that same time sink.
Yeah, so we did get the compass out of the right side here. I don't think we saw a map check from either runner.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I think they're just saying, I'm going to go back there anyway. Let me see if I get my 3 items. And, but you don't really want to be going back there if it's like a Trinex and you can't beat it. That's going to be another time loss.
Yeah, I'm expecting Kaizen to make the check, right after this big key location.
And there's one room that is just so much easier in Enemizer, where there's no anti-fairies blocking that entrance there. And he's not checking, but he is going to get the, he's already checked the big chest. So he's either forgotten or checked and we did not notice.
Yeah, I don't see anything indicating that he's looking to check it. Oh, this is a fun room.
Well, at least we can kind of see all the enemies. It's not like the turtles that are dark in these. We know where they all are except for that thief. Although that thief's going to bounce you around and knock you into some of these enemies that do damage. Kaizen killing the enemies looking for that key.
Does find it eventually. For Adalor, now heading towards that vanilla big key chest. Kaysden does find his way to there. So he is moving on. And yeah, we just haven't seen that map check. I'm really curious what it is.
Yeah, we're all holding our breath, hoping that it's going to be... Oh, here we go. And it's going to be Vitreous.
Okay, so both of our runners can fight this boss. Not the easiest one, but we'll see how they both cope with this.
Yeah, I think Trinex is about the only one they can't beat at this point, because you could use bombs on Helmasaur, and pretty much every other boss is vulnerable to swords and things. So
Cold Stare is the other one.
Cold Stare, yes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Cold Stare is actually another one of those bosses that can just about go anywhere.
Yeah, this cape is going to be really nice too. Get some invincibility here.
Yeah, Kaysden going with the spin strats here, get as much damage as he can on. Unfortunately, without the acid, we really cannot do any damage boost strats. Ooh, that's scary. But he does have a red potion.
Yes, has that potion. The bow is going to come in handy. The bombs are also able to do damage to these little eyeballs, so just a matter of time here.
And there we go. Down goes all the little eyes, and really easy to take down Vitreous with a bow. 8 arrows and done. Nicely done for the map. But also our first crystal. Adalor now entering that boss fight as well. Adalor's going with the bomb strat to start before going with his spins. Gotta be really careful here. The eyes do just so much damage. We'll see if Adalor also whips out that cape.
Switching to the arrows there. I think it's 3 for each small eye, although they've gotten a little bit of damage already, so it's going to be fewer than that.
And just utilizing a side shot on these, this is a really good way to go about it, and does get down all the little eyes. Now just the big one to go, and that's pretty easy when you got the bow. So very nicely done from Adalor as well. Adalor remembering that after you kill these bosses, the item does spawn in the center of the room.
Yeah, 2 really nice boss fights on both sides. Not surprised. This is the conference semifinals. These are a couple of great runners. And now they're just going to have to make that long trek up Death Mountain to get that Mirror into Moon Pearl combo, and we'll be off to the Dark World. And let's see if either of them remembers to do the Spike Cave here. It's going to be super convenient getting that. Right here, you've already got the cape. It's an invincibility item. Fortunately, Kaysden did use some red goo. I don't know if there was another bottle in his possession if it has anything in it. And picking up the...
I believe we did get a green potion with the other bottle, so...
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's super convenient here to do Spike Cave. There's going to be no easier time to do it, I don't think.
We got our Dark World map check, Ice Palace and Green Pendant Thieves Town with red crystals at Skull Woods and Misery Mire.
Okay, so we're going to need a lot of items before we hit go mode here, and Kaysden is fluting away, does not want to do Spike Cave right now.
I think with the flute and the save point already, it's not the worst idea. We'll see if Adalor decides to take a different approach here, though. We do get that map check, though, also from Adalor.
As Kaysden goes into the 5-item Hype Cave, what do we have today?
We got half magic, a bug net, a fire shield, and 20 bucks. So not the hypest of caves, but nice little safeties for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. Kazdan did not go check out or the back of Escape, so he is missing that Ether Medallion for now. We'll see if that matters in a little bit, eventually.
Yeah, Ether Medallion could be used to get into Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. Of course, we're going to need the mitts to do that, so not really on anyone's mind at this point. We are going to get that other tablet to have the first one pay off. Let's see what this one does. Just a piece of heart on the Ether tablet.
And Adalor is going to head towards Palace of Darkness. We do know that is a crystal, so definitely towards the ends of completing the seed. The only worry here for Adalor is, of course, Dark Pod is really scary.
Yeah, that is going to be pretty interesting without a lamp or a fire source in that fire rod. We find our third sword in Cave 45 on Kazdan's side. But we were talking earlier about those kill rooms, like the one in Dark Pod Basement, usually bombable enemies, so you might have some good luck with getting some easy to kill enemies in that dark room, but you might also get super unlucky.
Yeah, and part of this could be the fact that Adalor having the Ether Medallion might be saying, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, those medallions come in super handy in Enemizer seeds like this. Shooter room is a key, as expected. Usually turns out that way, and you're upset when it doesn't. And we are using that key. Go back into the front of pod here.
And we get another heart container over at Dig Games. So starting to fill up on the heart containers. I don't feel like we've gotten a ton of pieces, but that might be like our fourth container.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think we've gotten just about 4 or 5 at this point. Kazdan gotta fill up some bottles here, looks like.
Yeah, he could be looking at this as a pod play as well and going, I just want to have the safety available just in case.
Four chests in pod so far and 4 small keys. Adalor going to go to that bow lock side, which today is not actually bow locked. Logically, as you were saying earlier, it is going to be bow locked, but shadows came out from nowhere. And using that stun prize to get that heart, good heads up knowledge there.
Yeah, Adalor right now out of bombs. Luckily, pod is a great dungeon to get extra bombs in. There will be 2 under pots up in this next room.
Yeah, gonna have to. I think already used one to open the side, this ledge chest, so don't need to use a bomb here, but hopefully refills here. Map and our 5th small key to pod.
We get the red ring out of chest game.
This is going to be an interesting with this this roller here to get the spike to turn over. Oh yeah, that's a nice strat there.
Yep, always good idea using that. Luckily getting a couple of bombs to make that possible. Although that's... and that's a... Was that a fire rod? That was a fire rod out of Brewery, but nice use of the cape there on the bridge. There's no way you're doing a any kind of hammer yump today. And here we go with C-Shape House, just 20 bucks. We did get that last small key as well down in the Dark U room. And there's our Titan's mitts.
Interesting. I guess those are in logic from our perspective, since we do have that fire rod that was just picked up on Kaizen's side. Hello, big spikes.
Yeah, that's not exactly the most friendly. That Hellway became anything but harmless.
It certainly did.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Kazden, you know, finish out Thieves Town here, at least maybe just rush the boss, given it is just a green pendant, and then probably head up to clear Skull Woods, because we know Trinex cannot be in Skull. And then probably make his way over to Pod as well. Because I definitely feel like having that fire rod makes everything about what we're talking about with Pod and the danger of dark rooms a lot better.
Yeah, that fire rod opens up a lot. He might actually think about desert, you know, has that book, can get in there, but that could be boots locked. And there's only 2 items over there.
And it looks like Adalor's stream did pause momentarily, but is still in the dark of Pod and did get through it. And we've got Armos Knights here in Thieves Town. So Kaizen is just going to go to town on this fight. Setting up for the quick kill. Nicely done so far.
Yeah, one of the nice things about Thieves Town in Enemizer is the boss is just there, gets that green pendant, and we got a red cane in the big chest of Pod over on Adalor's side.
So honestly, if we don't have a Trinex, we're really just missing flippers and whatever medallions we're talking about here.
Yeah, and I did see Adalor pick up the compass, and we must have lost the map check at some point when Addy's stream went down for just a few seconds, so perhaps knows what the boss is and going to try and attempt going all the way to the back of Pod and beat the boss.
Yeah, according to Chloe, it's going to be a Moldorm here in the back.
Thank you.
So Kaizen doing front of Pod, seeing if he can get a small key. He does, so he will clear the front of Pod, or Skullwood, sorry. There's another heart container. That's a full row of hearts now for Kaizen.
And there's that compass. We'll be looking for a map check here, although, as you said, we know it can't be Trinex, so we can pretty much beat every boss here.
Yeah, and realistically, I mean, there's some bosses that are not fun. A lot of people will tell you, and I'm of the personal opinion, Argus and Cold Stare are absolutely atrocious here. But I've also heard people say that even Cold Stare is not the worst, because if you can get through the start of the fight, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah, the nice thing about the back of the Skullwoods boss is there are all those spikes, and I believe the spikes actually do damage to some of the bosses, like Cold Stare, when it's out of its shell.
Yeah, and as was pointed out in chat, we did get both items out of Skullwoods, so we just have to kill kill the boss at this point. Although I think Kaizen's forgotten that.
I saw a big heart piece. Was there another one outside of, I think that was in Pot Prison?
Yeah, I thought we got a container and a piece.
Okay. Yeah, perhaps thinking about the MC shuffle he played yesterday, which had maps and compasses shuffled outside of its dungeon. It's not, you know, the worst time loss there. See if he walks all the way back to for that bridge chest once he opens up back of Skullwoods here. But, you know, meanwhile, Adalor has picked up their second crystal over in the Palace of Darkness by defeating Moldorm, and going to walk out here probably a pyramid and a catfish or something like that.
Yeah, the only problem here is that unfortunately walking out of pod is just such a slow thing. Like I can say as a cross keys runner, and I'm sure you're the same way, Dapper, it's just like you hate having to make this walk.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it actually faster to walk or like a mere flute to 5 situation? You're probably eating a lot of screen transitions at that point.
I'm not sure. And was that a double hand?
Well, perhaps perhaps you're familiar with the 2 hands for a please clap from last season.
No. So
Or sorry, that was Kasten.
yeah, so Kazan threw a pot south in that first room, and it did seem to hit an enemy, but there was still a hand there. That might have been a double wall master.
Oh, that's pretty nasty.
That is a creepy find always. That is scary. And we get our second Vitreous, and I gotta imagine we're gonna see Cape Strats again.
Yeah, this one could be pretty crazy too, especially with that lightning floating after you. I will say, since I just recently had experience with this, the little block up there does a lot of weird things when you hit that big eyeball with the arrows. So Kaizen's going to have to be careful when he gets to this final phase.
Yeah, Vitreous in this dungeon and Palace of Darkness as well can really do some screwy things. We've seen this happen a couple of times. I think we saw this in some other... Ooh, that's scary. And
I think he has that blue goo. And
yep, has the blue goo, and no risk, no chances taken here. Understandable.
Yeah, he's got plenty of money to go back and get a refill after this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that eyeball just not getting knocked back as far as you would think, and then it just is running at you at full speed. Going with this, yeah, this Tempered Sword is probably a good idea there. And gets it down.
Yeah, I'm wondering if part of Kaizen's thought with doing the big key chest was just to maybe find the compass. Maybe he wanted to know the boss before heading in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And Adalor is giving us a fake flipper here into the Zora Waterfall, so...
Yeah, nice perseverance there getting it. Hopefully their stream pops up and we're able to see what they got.
As Kaizen is...
giving us a
yeah.
bad check. Was that, it just said red or blue? Returns
that would
to
be our
you.
blue.
Yeah.
Because we already have red rang, so yeah, that is our blue boomerang. And Kaizen is going to walk back here. I guess he's going to do North Dark World at this point. As we do get Adalor walking through Zora's domain, also known as the laggiest portion of any Enemizer seed. All those little Zoras getting replaced by everything else just is disgusting.
Yeah, this is the one place you don't want to be in a water walk or a fake flipper state. You can kind of get through like Lake Hylia Island, or the Lake Hylia area, but this place has so many enemies that can just be sniping you from afar.
Yeah, Zora's domain works great with all the Zoras being underwater and not affecting too much, but now that we are, not doing that and having them all shuffled, it just gets bad. But nothing on Zora, of course. The scam lives again.
And we didn't get to see what was in Adalor's trek into Waterfall Cave there, because their stream did go away for a second.
I'm gonna just see if I can figure that out real quick.
They're not running around, so they didn't get boots. We'll see if they bring up any items that we didn't notice that they had.
Right.
And as you predicted, Kaizen's going over towards the Graveyard Ledge area. Has to do this maze the bad way. No boots, no mitts. Finding a chain chomp there, guarding the Graveyard Ledge.
So just taking a quick look at Adalor's stream, I do not see a different item acquired on his tracker. So yeah, it looks like nothing out of the waterfall either.
Oh, and we're going to use this opportunity to check the bumper ledge here to check what is at the lumberjack tree, and we know that's a mushroom. Meanwhile, Kaysen has found the flippers.
Interesting. Now the question, one of the other things here is Kaysen still has not done back of escape for Ether Medallion.
Adelar showing his frustration with the item placement there. Yeah, he might. Looks like Kaysen is gonna not mirror here. That would be a good opportunity to get back of escape. Although, you know, with the save and quit point, it's basically free anytime you want to do it.
Yeah, and with those flippers for Kaysen, this is now a lot easier to get over to Zora and Quakefish. So he is going to just head over to Quakefish and probably do the Zora checks while he's at it.
And got to stop and get a refill on his blue goo there.
Yeah, and he's got 2 empty bottles at this point. He might just buy both.
And Adelar's actually out of bombs, but luckily there's 4 bombs here in this cave.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes back in for an extra refill, even.
And let's see where Adelar is going. Looks like going into the dark world here. Not much over here. This is kind of the way towards the village of Outcasts from the south, so I would expect sort of a southern approach to this.
I'm wondering if this might be a Swamp Palace play.
Oh yeah, they did just get those flippers, didn't they? So
yeah, so we're gonna get Swamp Palace really quickly. And the one thing I'm concerned about here from Adelar's standpoint is, you know, what if it is Trinex or not Trinex or Cold Stare, really?
Yeah, Adelar has not been to Village of Outcasts to get their fire rod yet, but you know the seed has provided everything to get 9/10 of the things in Swamp. The 10th being on that boss, and you know doesn't want to go to Village of Outcast area. Thieves Town is a green pendant, and the point of this game is to get crystals. In this case, Kaysen's still in Waterwalk state. Looks like he's gotten out of it at this point. Okay, yeah, that would be one hit KO there if he was.
Oh, and he's got flippers, so we're out of those Oko worries.
Oh, right. And I did say there's 9 and 10 items here. I guess I meant there's 10 chests, and you know 6 of them today are going to be items. There's our first one. It is the magic powder.
And Adelar, knowing his pots here in Swamp Palace, you know, a little low on bombs, still able to just keep on going with that. Kaysen starting back at Sank. Is this finally that back of escape play for him? Yeah, it looks that way.
Now or never.
Yep.
Heads up play by Adelar of knocking down that middle hammer peg instead of letting that spike get all the way through.
So we will see where Kaysen decides to head next. I gotta think it's going to be a pot or a swamp play for him.
Yeah, those make the most sense. Filling up on hearts before heading south, we'd have to imagine.
Yeah, it looks like Kaysen's, you know, maybe hoping to get Lamp before Pod right now still. And we got a Moth.
All right. That's a simple enough boss at the back. I mean, Lamp is obviously required for some of those rooms and just going to make them in Enemizer so much easier. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, to see Lamp show up pretty soon here.
But we are going to see an attempt at diver down. Adalor really playing it smart here, saying, wait, let's scout real quick. Can I do it?
Yeah, sometimes the enemies are lined up just in a way that's almost impossible to do diver down. But thankfully no big spikes coming at you today. Adalor does have the cane, which we know is lamp locked in Palace of Darkness, so gonna use the cane setup here. Actually, has that cane out? Yeah, gonna use cane now.
Was mixing up his setups for a little bit there. Understandable. Sometimes you just, you start thinking one way and then you're like, wait, no. Just not getting the timing there. What you have to do is as soon as you hit the water, you got to hold down right just for a moment. And unfortunately, Adalor is just getting, a little bit off. And there we go. Does eventually get it. There is a diver down.
Yeah, there's a reason why that's the more common setup is because it's a little bit more forgiving with the timing. As far as you can just keep attempting it over and over again. You don't have to put that bomb down and then take damage every time. And of course, Adalor only has 3 bombs at this point. So we're gonna, if Kaysen does do diver down, we'll see the bomb diver down since he has not picked up that cane of Samaria yet.
Yeah, and for Kaysen, I'm thinking he's going to be more tempted. He's without mitts or Samaria. He's going to look at this as, I'm missing a few extra items already, so I should probably full clear this dungeon.
There are some more bombs for Adalor. And West Chest, Vanilla Big Key Chest is the map. So as they make their way into Back of Swamp, just want to point out this is not the first time that these two have met. They actually met in the Challenge Cup earlier this year, and Adalor took that series 2-1.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk in the pregame race chat about this kind of being a grudge match between them. Their races were quite close during the Challenge Cup, so definitely a chance for both teams to kind of make their claim here on this one. And Kaysen is skipping left side. We do know that's not going to matter. And based on his interview given last night, there's a good chance he decides not to head back in.
Meanwhile, they picked up that lamp there in diver down room. But you can just see the time difference. Obviously, skipping rooms and opening the chest is going to be quicker if you don't go there. But Kaysen was the last to enter Swamp and is going to be the first to get to the back.
Yeah, and Kaysen does have some nice little advantages here, having Fire Rod and Tempered Sword for this fight. So going to be a little bit easier for him as well.
Unfortunately, has sword beams, which doesn't seem to bother him too much.
Yeah, he just decided to get up close and personal the whole time. And there's one item left in Swamp. I would be surprised to see Kaysen head back in. But Adalor also doing a nice job on the Moth here.
If I'm not mistaken, that is the 3rd crystal for both runners.
Yes, it is. Kaysen heading over towards Ice Palace area. Obviously can't get into ice. I guess, yeah, we did not scout the Hylia Island, did we? And this is also probably the most convenient way to do the Old Man Under the Bridge. There is actually a little outcropping at on the Dark World side where you can jump in the water. And never mind, Kaysen is saying no. But heading to pod.
Yeah, he definitely did not check. I don't think either runner has checked Hobo at this point, because we just got the flippers and went immediately into Swamp, and nobody wants to be fake flippering all the way there in Enemizer.
So yeah, the questions of, are we in no mode or some variation of that? We're in a very Schrodinger's mode, I guess would be the way to put it. Ice Rod is a big question mark. Boots are a question mark for Desert Palace. And then, of course, medallions. We don't know if we do need Bombos or Quake Medallion yet as well. So there's still a few variables. It is possible we're in go mode. We might not need the boots. We might not need another medallion or Ice Rod. But we are going to get that green pendant turn in now from Kazdin. Was that worth his time? And there's our second medallion with Quake. So that could be a nice little bonus for Kazdin.
That's very interesting because, he went into the back of Thieves Town still looking for items. He had gotten the Fire Rod, but he's going to basically hit his, as you're talking about, pseudo go mode without having the Ice Rod. And Adalor's going to get their pseudo go mode by picking up that Fire Rod in the brewery. So I don't know if Adalor's going to be as tempted to complete a boss that's not a crystal.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Both of our runners have these kinds of situations. Adalor not going to be able, might not be as tempted to kill blind given his equipment. Kazdin's going to have a similar issue if Smith's is something. Him going back for Smith Chain is much less likely as well. So we'll see which runner kind of makes that play back for those. Yeah, and what happened with Kazdin there, by the way, you might have noticed he got to the pod front door. Unfortunately, when you have your invincibility frames after using the mirror and coming back to Dark World, you can't pick up Kiki while invincible. So you have to actually go back for Kiki, or wait for Kiki specifically. Kazdin did not, so he had to walk all the way back to the hedge maze.
Yeah, there's enough going on at the screen looking at the enemies that you're not really looking at your own sprite and seeing if there's a follower, so can't really fault him for that. And we're getting that Smith turn in on Adalor's side. That is another piece of heart.
So that is not going to be a benefit, but we are going to get to see Powder with the magic bat. That is another thing that Kazdin did not check out. Unfortunately, getting really hit by those 1.0 by that red guard. And just another heart container, putting both of our runners now up to 11 hearts. And we are going to get purple chest from Adalor, so we'll see if this actually gives much of a benefit, as well as hammer pegs. Unfortunately, bootless hammer pegs is never a fun time. Having to walk through this, but we'll see if it pays out. And if the Beamos and the snakes and everything else, we'll just leave them alone a little bit.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those stakes, when they're in the Dark World, do a little bit more damage than they do.
Yes,
in the White World.
They are treated as Dark World snakes, and Dark World snakes are of that some of those enemies that have weird properties. There's a few of them in this game. The crickets and rats actually share a palette, as well as the snakes, and I believe even the bats have that same issue. So here we go with the purple chest turn in now for Adalor. If there's something that's going to give him a little bit of an edge here, thing. And it's just 20 bucks, so that could be a bow, that could be armor, it might even be a heart container at this point. It's a lot of different things that are possible. It's just we're starting to get pretty nicely equipped.
Yeah, we do have a good loadout. That was really nice use of the mirror and flute to do that purple chest turn in when the rest of the Smith chain had already been completed. And Adalor at 57, 55 is in pseudo go mode at this point.
Yeah, and Kazdin not far behind either. He's just about done with his Palace of Darkness checks, and yeah, he's getting the information. Yeah, I was about to say, Kazdin, you got Cape out. Just go with it.
Yeah, gotta go double back, into the dark maze, and looks like Adalor just walked right by Thieves Town, which is pretty expected considering, as we mentioned, they're in go mode. They have everything they need to beat every boss except Trinox. And
Yeah,
this
and
is this is
given
Chaos boss shuffle, so we don't know if we're
exactly.
gonna see a Trinox.
Yeah, at this point, you know, the arenas we have left, we already saw Skullwood, so we know that it's not there. But Mire, Turtle Rock, and Desert Palace all can hold Trinex. So they are all candidates for being one. Adalor gonna have to be pretty careful here, down to 1 heart. Guessing he's gonna take a death warp momentarily.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Or just use an anti-fairy and get 8 free hearts.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, Kazen's been playing it a little bit safer, I think. He's really taking advantage throughout. You know, not leaving it to chance. Adalor, I don't think has been filling up his bottles too much.
Yeah, with half magic and tempered sword, you'd expect to not really need more than 1 bottle on the Ganon fight. We're not going to get silver arrows today. We have the hard item pool, but we still got to be careful. It is Enemizer. You never know what's going to happen up Ganon's Tower Gauntlet. Could get pretty hairy.
Yeah, and we actually, you know, I did say the 3 dungeons we have left could be a Trinex. I forgot to mention that technically Landmo 2 and Ice Armos are also candidates. So
Yeah, and I guess theoretically we could need the boots to get into the Desert Palace. You know, if the big key or small key is on that torch.
yeah, we definitely have some things that are still outliers. So we'll see what happens. But it is looking like Adalor is not going to be checking out Thieves Town.
Yeah, and also the medallion to get into those 2 dungeons could also be Bombos, which we have not seen yet.
Oh, and there's that Wallmaster getting Adalor, unfortunately. Kazan getting through the turtle room.
I guess now we know what those enemies were.
Kazan entering the fight against the Moldorm. Just a spin and a slash will do it. And nicely done.
Moldorm is just a whole lot easier when there's not a big hole in the floor.
I was going to say, the 2 bosses that really have great arenas for themselves are Moldorm and Moth, and both just, you know, getting put in dungeons that does not assist them at all. Unfortunately, Vitreous ending up here in Skull Woods means this is perfect territory for Vidi.
Yeah, I am just glad that Trinex can't ever be in here. I guess the Trinex is just a little too large to fit into this arena.
Yeah, not a great location for Trinex. It is a size it's a size thing with this. Woo, I'm getting really scared here. Oh god.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adalor.
Plenty of money, just use that potion.
Please. Whew.
And it's Ether to open up Misery Mire.
And Kazan's just going to go find out if we are boots locked here in Desert Palace first. You know,
Yeah,
do we
makes
need
a lot
to...
of sense.
Yeah, do we want to actually really full clear Mire if we have to? And it's looking like there's a chance we don't. So we do have a small key on the torch. So realistically, we are boots locked. The question is, are we going to pull the big key here in this chest? In our map chest?
Very interesting.
And no, we are boots locked. We still are not in go mode.
So sorry to all those who I said we were in go mode, but we are not yet. Kazan is going to go into Misery Mire, and I guess we're going to be full clearing some more dungeons here.
I'm surprised we're not going to get a checkerboard cave check first, but I don't disagree with going after a crystal. And Adalor is going to clear at least the front of Skull Woods. We'll see how he decides to approach Thieves Town still. I don't know if we're going to see it. And yeah, we do know Adalor is now at max heart containers. That was a heart container in Pot Prison. So we definitely know that is not needed. And apparently, no, did not zone out on Kazin doing Mire Shed. He didn't do Mire Shed.
But now, with Mire Shed behind him, gonna check the checkerboard cave.
Yeah, see if maybe he can get himself out of needing to fire Mire. And nope, that's just some arrows. Oh, and Adalor's going to go back to check the pedestal. Understandable at this point.
Yeah, they're thinking, do I need boots? Do I need ice rod? Do I need, those other 2 medallions that I don't have? This is the perfect time to check this.
Oh, and this is a great lobby.
Oh boy.
And Kazin just says no. No, thank you. And I am not sure, does using a medallion actually get rid of Spooky?
I don't think it does. I don't think Kazin has Spooky anymore because of all of his mirroring and stuff, though.
True. But I was not sure if that medallion has that kind of effect.
And I noticed Adalor did not set up Spooky on their flute to that dark rock.
I mean, I guess it's not even easy to do so just because of the fact that you're not guaranteed enemies that you can Spooky off of, so might not usually be even possible.
Right. Adalor did not go into Desert Palace, so they do not know that it is boots locked at this point. But considering they were checking Ped, I think they might sort of look for both items here in Misery Mire anyway.
And Adalor taking a little bit different of an approach, but nicely done. And it is technically a Godmire. We did get that big key out of the spike chest. Kazin deciding, however, to continue searching for items, knowing he needs at least boots. I think he just knows I don't want to skip out yet. And yeah, after seeing no real Lionels this seed, it is quite, I don't know if refreshing is the right word to finally find them. There's our first item in the spike room, or the torches.
Yeah, thankfully the game did not give Lionels when these players were on like 4 hearts, but now that they're up to their second row, we could throw some more nasty enemies their way. And of course, the game also gave us Cape early. We got Magic Powder, so those are some nice things to have on your Enemizer feed.
Yeah, we're definitely getting good safeties. Cape and Powder especially. Half Magic to go along with it. Plenty of options. We do get the Compass out of the Vanilla Big Key chest. And as chat's pointing out, yeah, Kazin is apparently averse to checking maps to find out who the boss is.
I mean, maybe he's looking for his last item to see if the item's even on the boss or something, but he has not checked a map this entire seed, so I think it's more of what you said.
Apparently, this is a problem with me, though, according to our tracker, Leoria, that I don't check maps, and that's where Kazin got it from. I don't know what we're talking about. So Adalor going with checking the arena chest first. And it looks like Adalor is going to skip... Wait, did Adalor get the torches chest?
I think the first one, but not the...
And there's our second item in the big chest.
Yeah.
So Adalor's not going to have that information of the boss. So it looks like both of our runners are going to just be rushing into a boss, not knowing who it is.
Welcome to the playoffs, folks. We're just going to be rushing the bosses.
Definitely a feeling of, I just have to... for Adalor, this is a do-or-die game for Oops All Foxes. Kaizen does have a game to spare, but, probably feeling like, just play for it. And...
Okay, Kaizen's doing the spooky. I think it was a little late on that and probably didn't have it anyway because of the mirroring. But...
yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see if the enemy here even makes it possible. I don't think you can with this.
No, you can't go that way. Gotta go. Gotta spawn it first.
He's gonna try to preserve this, and I'm giving some credit here, but yeah, no.
I think it's just gonna be faster to do it the vanilla way than
Kaizen, please.
I don't know. It didn't look like there was a little pause there. It looks like he didn't get it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and Adalor, by the way, is now overtaken him and is into the last switch room.
Yeah. Remember, folks, sometimes the tried and true methods are better.
So what do you think? Is it going to be Trinex here?
Oh, I don't know. I think at a certain point you also kind of just expect, with the fact that you're in a Chaos Shuffle, that Trinex just doesn't exist.
Yeah, or the game would have given me the Ice Rod if I needed to beat Trinex if it was here.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, there's a lot we have not checked yet.
And there's our second Moldworm. So that's going to be crystal number 5 for both of our runners. We are tied up in the crystal department. The only real difference here is Adalor has made a few other checks outside of dungeons, whereas Kaizen did kill the Thieves Town boss for green pendant, which gave us Quake medallion. So that's really the only big difference here, is that knowledge of, Kaizen does know we need boots. Adalor is about to learn that. And did we need Quake? Quake is a huge piece of this puzzle, and until we know, could really change and swing this race in any direction.
Yeah, it's could be Quake. It could also be Bombos, but neither runner has found that. And we just opened up by beating Misery Mire our Pyramid Fairy check, because both of the Misery Mire and Skull Woods are red crystals today.
Yeah, so I like the idea of going to Pyramid Fairy. If you can avoid Death Mountain while long, a bad idea. And we will see if Adalor gives us that map check.
There it is. It's a Vitreous. What else is new?
Apparently, we rolled an all Vidi seed.
Yeah, there could be more. So yeah, as you were saying, limiting your mountain trips is a really good way to reduce your time on seeds in general. So hoping to find boots and Ice Rod here in Pyramid Fairy. He's getting this hobo check, which you can actually take the big bomb with you, apparently.
Yeah, the big bomb, when you go jumping off of a dock, it doesn't count as a ledge jump. So as long as you're always using these docks, you're always fine. And logically, that can be required. Just have to make sure to get the bomb before it explodes after talking to our friend there.
Yeah, you have to press A to talk to him, and that also releases the bomb. So it's a pretty tight window, but Kaizen still has the bomb in tow.
So Kaizen continuing up to that Pyramid Fairy. Meanwhile, Adalor rescuing our old man on Death Mountain. Now having the lamp, probably feels a little better about this play. And yeah, we have not seen any of Dark Death Mountain. The other piece for Kays in here, of course, is he did not check Pyramid Ledge, so this is kind of a third check alongside.
That's nice. Yeah, we did not do Dark Death Mountain yet. The mitts were in pod, and we had to go up the Light Mountain to get our Moon Pearl and access there. It was actually a pretty interesting situation with the mirror on Ether Tablet and Moon Pearl on Spectacle Rock. And our second sword was in Eastern Palace. Nothing in Pyramid Fair today. I would like to point out both runners did not do the Dark Death Mountain, including Spike Cave, and both had a very good opportunity to do that right after getting Moon Pearl. So if Boots or Ice Rider is there, it's going to feel real bad. But both of them actually did skip it.
And Kaysen's actually going to go do Front of Hyrule Castle, so this is a little bit of time to give back to Adalor at this point. But the big question, of course, what is our medallion for Turtle Rock?
Yeah, Adalor is going to be the first to find out. They only have one medallion at this point. Quake was on the green pendant, which Kaysden did because they had nothing better to do at the time. Adalor skipped out on Thieves Town entirely.
And it is Quake.
Oh, that is really bad.
Yeah, this is a huge change in the race. We'll see where Adalor decides to go next. Obviously, clearing out Dark Death Mountain here. We're going to get to see Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave, so maybe we get Boots or an Ice Rod here, but yeah, I don't know when Adalor makes the run towards Thieves Town at this point.
Yeah, the good news is that Thieves Town, in Enemizer, you don't have to go back to all the way to the basement, save the maiden, bomb open the attic, not in that order, and then go to the boss room. So it is a pretty quick trip if they do end up going in there. And if Boots or the Ice Rod or something is in the back and Kaysen has to end up going back there, you might see Adalor do all of that anyway. So we'll see what the seed has in store for us.
Yeah, and I think there is still one item in Thieves Town, potentially in the back. We got two up front and one on the boss. So I think there is still one item left inside of Thieves Town. But Kaysden has finished with Front of Escape, unfortunately forgetting the fact that he had the map. But nothing in Hookshot Cave either. So looking very likely that Turtle Rock is our answer, that or Ice Palace. So, but here we go. We are going to likely get to see Spike Cave. Adalor just has to be a little careful here. There was still a Lionel on that bridge. Adalor looking
nice.
for, yeah, it does get at least one fairy, so nice little health refill before going into Spike Cave.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the north, south, east, and west bushes have a chance to drop a fairy or a heart. So don't bother hitting the other ones, though.
I was going to say, Adalor, please shift over to that cape. It always has a little bit of activation lag.
Yeah, that was actually pretty close. And what is Spike Cave? Is it the boots? No, it's just 20 bucks.
It's a red thing, just not the right red thing.
That was still slower than doing it right after getting Moon Pearl, but it just did not have the goods today.
And we will see where Adalor heads next. Is this going to be a hobo play for Adalor?
Yeah, and getting the information here about the island, or maybe going into Ice Palace.
We're getting hobo, that's for sure. We'll see if that means ice, though, next. Ice is pretty quick. And the thing is, for Adalor, Village of Outcasts might be very unappealing, honestly. Having done all of the Mitch checks around that area, the 4/5 items in Green Pendant Thieves might not even be screaming out to him.
Yeah, gotta use that flute to go anywhere their heart desires. Back to 4?
Oh, and we missed the shovel, actually, from Super Bunny. So
yeah, that was up on the mountain.
Yeah.
But talking about Thieves Town, Village of Outcast area, I mean, one of the strategies when you play rando is, commit to your skips. If you say, I'm not going into this pendant dungeon, you kind of just roll with it. And you say, I'm making this decision now, and if something's there, I'm probably going to lose. And I just hope that the progression I need is farther on down the trail.
Yeah, and as oh, and there we go. If you didn't know about this, enemies have a vision cone. And that Beamos actually blocked Kaizen's hook shot.
Yeah, there's a invisible, like, trail, sort of like the one you see when the BMO shoots at you. That is a sprite that is invisible. And yeah, that was pretty. I think that happened to Adalor as well when they were trying to hook shot over. But they are
Yeah,
back in Village of Outcasts in the chess game. They are where they need to be.
yeah. One of the things we see that very commonly with guards, because I think a lot of runners are used to hook shotting through the world and getting guard vit cone. So Adalor heading into Thieves Town. We might actually see the full clear here of Thieves Town. He might not just think about turning in green pennant. He might say, I want to get every item out of this dungeon.
Yeah, so probably going to do the back first, even though you don't necessarily need to. That was close.
That was a scary change up.
Reminder that we are on Greenmail. We will not be getting any other mail upgrades.
Yeah, and as Wall Kicks pointed out in chat, yeah, apparently Adalor did skip chess game even after getting the fire rod in brewery. I am a little surprised as well by that decision.
That was their pseudo go mode. They only needed possibly boots and possibly ice rod, and
Yeah.
turns out we need one of those at least. Kaysen, of course, did everything and went into Thieves Town because they hadn't been to Pod at that point, so they were still looking for a few items.
And Kaizen playing it safe here, placing down that Samaria platform, and then just going straight to Cape. And did we get Compass already?
Oh, we probably did. We're
Yeah.
just never going to see it.
Oh, Kaizen killing us here with the non-map checks of the dungeons.
I mean, it's obviously faster to walk all the way back to a boss you can't beat than to check the map.
Of course. So Adalor picking up the small key is going to go into the back. This could be huge. If boots are here. If this is our one remaining item in Thieves Town, this kind of could flip the script.
Honestly, Adalor doesn't really have a lot of good options since they can't even get into Turtle Rock, so not surprised to see them going in here. The other thing is Pendant Ice Palace, and they're probably thinking there's no way that Kaizen has gone in there. I'm going to like metagame and go in and get the item here. Minimize my time loss effectively. So yesterday's race that Kaizen played, boots were actually logically required, but not technically required to beat the game. We had a little bit more friendly key layout in Desert Palace, and Kaizen, kind of checked a little bit extra stuff in Turtle Rock, but today he's going to be checking everything, including Mimic Cave, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, and we actually had a pretty, you said that friendly key layout. Even the boots weren't too bad in Crystal Roller Room. It just happened that Chloe kind of just said, I'm in go mode. Who cares? So understandable on both sides, Boots are just that nice to have in the rest of the game, and, you were pretty much perfectly set at that point.
Adalor coming up on a new check here for us. Maiden Cell, there's not going to be a maiden in there, though.
It is a small key, so it is the big chest.
Two new checks, both sides of the screen here.
$20 and a heart piece. So no, it is not in Thieves Town. Looking more and more likely that Kaizen is going to find our next piece of the puzzle here in Turtle Rock. Small key out of the big chest. Meanwhile, Adalor about to fight our Thieves Town boss. I believe this was a Vidi, right? No, it was Armos, right?
Yeah, they can sometimes run together in Enemizer seeds. The other option is possibly a really nice script here, on script fight there by Adalor.
Yeah, both of our runners giving us picture perfect Armos.
So 4 more checks on Laser Bridge, and then the boss, which we don't know what it is, in Turtle Rock. And we'll see if we find boots or some other thing that's going to lead to boots here. Remember, we do have a mushroom on the top of the lumberjack tree, which requires you to beat Aga 1 to get to that. That could also have our boots.
Well, no, that can't, because we need boots to get that.
Oh, there we go. That is logic. Thank you very much, Radical Sniper 99. If I was playing, I probably would have thought that, and then I probably would have figured it out eventually, but
Yeah, no.
you beat me to the punch.
Oh, there's our compass.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Kason, you got the cape. Just go for it. And we don't not found anything here in Turtle Rock.
All right, safety door in case it is Trinex and he has to mirror out.
Yeah, I like the play. I respect this move as saying, you know, what is my situation? But yeah, still not gonna check. Like in his mind, he knows that there's a chance that this is a boss he can't kill. But rather than taking the time to even check it, he's just like, let's go.
Yeah, I don't think he has any mirror locked locations left, except he left behind left side swamp, and the Smith chain is a little easier with mirroring, but not worrying about that really at this point. Even if you just check just to psych yourself up or prepare for whatever the boss is, I think that could be valuable. And it is Cold Stare today, our first Cold Stare.
What I will say is, Kazan and I have talked about the whole idea of what bosses we expect in these kinds of seeds. He and I have kind of run these seeds, this mode as practice together a few times leading up to these races. And one of the things he kind of is a firm believer in is like with the Chaos Shuffle, it's like the game's just going to give you Trinex or it's going to say no. Like he is a firm believer that the game actually has it set out ahead of time whether or not you're going to see much in terms of Trinex. And I think he's operating under the assumption that Trinex just doesn't exist in this seed.
Yeah, I believe it places the crystals and then the bosses and then all the items. I don't think it does the items first and then looks at if you can beat a Trinex. It just says, here's the bosses you need to beat. He is going to do Spike Cave here. This makes sense. You're right here. But Adalor is about a Turtle Rock behind at this point, and they're both searching for their boots.
Yeah, we'll see how Kazan plays it at this moment. You know, I could see him making Mitch checks. I don't think he goes back to Thieves. I don't think he goes back to Swamp. I think those are definitely checks he's looking at as like dead checks. They're too slow for one item. But Smith Chain or Ice Palace is really the question mark for him. I think he's still a little bit ahead, even if he does make Smith Chain. But I think we know at this point it is Ice Palace.
Yeah, I've got pretty much everything marked off on my personal tracker, and he took the save and quit there. He didn't do the death warp thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, what would the death warp benefit, I guess, is the question.
You know, because he has that portal from... Oh, no, never mind. He beat the Turtle Rock boss. It doesn't matter about the portal. That's strike 2 for me today, I guess. So is he going into back of Thieves Town here?
I think this is Smith Chain, honestly. I would be honestly shocked if Kaysen goes into Thieves Town for one item. Kaysen's scaring me with that with walking past that front door. I'm like, please don't, Kaysen. Yes, Desert Palace is boots locked. That is pretty much our go mode, besides the question of any Trinexes. We have not seen one yet. Obviously, with Chaos Boss Shuffle, we might not. But it is still in the realm of possibility today. In GT, we do know that our boss for Desert Palace is not. It's going to be our third viddy. Ped is very much dead. It is a blue boomerang.
Yeah, the only thing we did not do is beat the Tower of Hera boss because all 2 items were available to us before then. As far as, that's the things that we haven't seen from both runners. Pretty much everywhere else has been checked on one side or the other.
Adalor taking a nice little strategy here of saying, let me grab a fairy. Yes, Adalor did do Smith. Adalor's been very thorough up to this point, actually. Definitely has less on his list of things to still check out. Kazdan's been relatively thorough as well. He just hasn't, there's the Mitz checks were kind of missed by him a little earlier. That's what caused Kazdan to do an early Thieves Town, whereas Adalor had skipped Thieves Town.
Yeah, I think pretty much they actually have, now that I think about it, checked everything that the other one has. Obviously, Adalor is finishing up Turtle Rock, and when Kazdan completes this Smith chain, that is going to be pretty much lockstep for both of them.
Yeah, as we said, the only real things are, of course, those 2 checks, the one in Swamp and the one in Thieves that Kazdan has skipped. But I think at this point, Kazdan's just going to say, if it's not those, it's, I've lost anyway, I think.
Oh, apparently he skipped Stumpy here as well.
I think it was just Shovel.
Oh, Shovel, yes. Yeah, he definitely did Stumpy when he got his Tempered Sword out of Cave 45 there, and fluting over to Gary in the Desert Hallway. But after Adalor finishes Turtle Rock here, I'd have to imagine Ice Palace is going to be next on their list.
Yeah, there's nowhere else I could see Adalor going. I think he's done everything, and Kazdan looks like also going to Ice Palace. So we have at least, there's going to be a couple of minutes difference here between who goes to Ice Palace first, or between finding go mode. But yeah, not going to be a huge difference, I think. Kazdan entering at about 130, 130.
So how do you route this when you don't really want to have to beat the boss, but you're just looking for 1, possibly 2 items?
I think you just go traditional Icebreaker on this one. Get your 3 items and get out. And yeah, I don't think there's any real flash to this move. You kind of just do this dungeon fully. Kazdan's setting up for traditional pen gators. Unfortunately, no pen gators.
Yeah, that was all right. First check was something that has now turned into a green 20.
Yeah, both of our runners really starting to max out here. I think we're maxed out on containers. It's really just a question of pieces for both of them to get them to that 14 hearts.
And Kazdan not hitting the switch. This is pretty much the right way if you don't intend on beating the boss.
Nice lead on the Icebreaker. Meanwhile, Adalor entering Cold Stare. Adalor does have a fairy, so even with the couple of hits being taken, doing nice. And using the spikes, really heads up here. You don't always think about this, but the spikes actually... Oh, and I spoke just a little too soon there. Kazdan, though, Gets the boots, and he's out.
Yeah, he looks like he thought about it for a little bit while quick swapping, but as you said, just expecting Trinex to not show up. Adalor has that fire rod out. Might be worth a couple shots there. There we go.
Yeah, I wouldn't chance it at that point.
So we could have saved a mountain trip if, we had gone into Ice Palace before going up where a lot more items are in the Turtle Rock and all those Dark Death Mountain checks. But Kazan now going to go into Desert Palace, use those newly found boots to get that key off the torch and look for his big key.
Yep. So, we said Kazan was into ice at about 1:30, 1:30. It's looking at about like 2.5 minutes, roughly, maybe a little more.
Yeah, is Addy going to do the big bomb here? I don't think they have done that yet.
Oh, yeah. That is actually one check we did not see from Adalor, so that's where he's headed. There's the big
key. And just mirroring out, not going to check the item.
Yeah, and it looks like Kazan's playing for the fact that he's in go mode at this point, and it's a respectable choice.
Yeah, clearly you two had a lot of conversations about what you're saying. Is Trinex going to show up? If it is, it is. If not, it's not. It's probably not worth looking for that ice rod. The percentages change a little bit when it's full boss shuffle, when you know there's a Trinex somewhere, but this is chaos, and as we said at the beginning, it could be all the same, it could be all different bosses on everything. It's chaos.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what Kazan had said. Like, when he and I had talked about it, I was like, what about a Trinex? And he was like, I don't care. At that point, like, he was firmly in the side of, if it was going to be there by now. And so he's willing to live and die by that choice.
Yeah, and he's checked so much that if a Trinex was going to be in his path, I think he would think there's an ice rod that I would have found at this point. And there's also, 20-something checks in Ganon's Tower for it to be as well.
Yeah.
Doing a really nice job. That Tempered Sword, and of course, comboed with the cape. Name a better duo.
I mean, if it's Vidi, I might say the Acid Pit, but so we said 1:30, 1:30, by the way. About 4.5 minutes difference here for Adalor into Ice Palace. And there's the ice rod.
There it was. Okay, yeah, it was just there all along.
So yeah, this is a sizable advantage for Kazan right now. I'm not sure what is going to kind of bring Adalor back here besides some GT shenanigans. As always, everybody's favorite boss in GT, of course, is an Ice Trinex. We'll see what happens. But I do see some numbers in chat. That does mean, of course, we are looking for the Ganon's Tower Big Key 1 to 22. Where is it? Where do you think it is, Dapper?
Today I'm going to guess number 13.
Ooh. I almost kind of want it behind the ice boss. Just for fun. Let's see some more bosses.
Yeah, let's put these runners to the test. This is the semifinals of the playoffs here. Let's make them earn it getting into that championship round.
As much as I might be biased on who I want to see win, I do want to give something nice to the chat here to have some fun.
I mean, Ice Trinex is no joke, but pretty much any of those bosses on ice are no joke, and things can go awry pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, even Land Mode 2 Trinex is actually pretty bad. That Medusa head is known to really give runners some trouble.
Yeah, and as you see on the screen there, it's hard. That means hard item pool. They're limited to that sword they have. They're not going to get silvers, and they are on Greenmail, so all those Dark World enemies are going to do a lot of damage on Greenmail.
Yeah, luckily Kazin, I think has at least 2 blue potions right now, maybe a third. Also has powder, half magic cape, Burna, all the safeties you could ever want in this mode.
Yeah, and I don't think Kaysen stopped for any bottles, but he does have that bug net and could get some fairies along the way in that refill room and some other places in Ganon's Tower. Getting a key and going right.
Yeah, this is another one of those things that I know he prefers doing right if he gets that one small key, so this does not surprise me as a choice. We'll see if it does lead to anything. I know we haven't seen it very often. Kazin, that's a fire rod.
Yeah, is this a spooky setup I don't know about?
I mean, there are ways to do it. Like, you can get spooky of some variety inside of Ganon's Tower.
Let's check number 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all nothing today. So, and the Ganon's Tower torch, number 7, is nothing. Nothing that we need anyway. But going full, going to the right is something, if Adalor goes left, could make up some of the time here. Looks like 8, 9, 10 is a key. 11 is a piece of heart.
And that is our 14th heart, so Kazin is maxed out now. Meanwhile, Adalor is into the Vitreous fight for his 7th crystal. And just going dash strats. I love this one. Don't get to see it too often anymore.
Yeah, I love a good dash biddy. Kazin, he has to hit the switch, or I guess you can actually get the Samaria platform, or the Samaria block here to hit that. Pretty nice trick there.
Yeah, with the location on that spike, might have said I can't get boom strats. Nice use of invincibility frames to get through all those enemies there.
Oh yeah. Adalor has gotten their 7th crystal, is on the way to Ganon's Tower. Check number 13 was nothing today.
Yeah, chat's, getting excited. We might see a boss there on Ice Armos location, and we did get our Bombos medallion.
All right, only one check left before we're required to go into the ice boss. I guess not required. It could be tile room, but you're going to be right here. We're going to go into ice boss.
Yeah, and the best thing really, for the runners with this hard mode setup, this is...
Oh, that was
wow.
close.
Oh, that's a scary one. Oh, man, a Wall Master right here. Does that mean we might have a Wall Master here as well?
That would be bad. Makes it through the room. And it's Trinex. Oh, no. Yeah, this is a hard. We have half magic. We've got some bottles, but this is no walk in the park for sure.
Yeah, a lot of runners will tell you, especially really quite skilled runners will tell you, they almost feel like having tempered or gold sword feels required here, just because of how hard this fight actually is.
Yeah, Master Sword does not do a ton of damage to these heads once you get them frozen. Looks like he does have a bottle. Is going to safety up and magic up there.
No, we have not checked tile room. So realistically, if Adalor makes the tile gamble and it's there, this could completely change the view of this race.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does Adalor feel behind? They've done pretty much every dungeon at this point and checked everything. They're going right by tile room.
Yeah, the good old living on a prayer strat, as it's known. But is it behind Ice Trinex? It is! There it is! That was what, 21?
21 out of 22.
Good old 21 is the number today. Let's see, did we get any 21s? I see a 22. I see a 20.
Guessed 20, as well as King Cars.
I don't see a 21. We had a few 20s and 22s. So I'll just shout out all of our 20s and 22s. We had Grey Corvid with a 22. We had King Cars with a 20. The Titan 84 with a 20. But yeah, no 21s. So thank you all for trying today. But yeah, it was just a 21.
Well, those were a couple of easy mimic rooms. Having some popos today. So there's still a lot that can happen. We did see a wall master there on the way to Bob. We'll see if there's any more tricks that Gannis Tower has up its sleeve.
Yeah, the most famous, of course, always are torches 1 and 2. Are we going to see a spike in those rooms?
Kazan did use his blue bottle. I wonder if he has any more safeties.
I thought he had a few. But because I think he got a refill of a bottle like on Pyramid Ferry. So I think he does, but I could be wrong. Always really hard to say.
These rooms are not being that friendly. Those rats and snakes kind of move around randomly, it seems, at times. I know when they hit a wall or a pot or something, they always turn to the right 90 degrees. But they can take off in any direction.
Yeah, and unfortunately these shadows are just really annoying. And Kazan's just going to say burn them all. Although I think Ether's actually the better choice on these.
Ether is the fastest of the medallions to animate. Bringing out the powder, I would have to imagine, for this anti-fairy. And just a normal two-eyed Moldorm.
We didn't even get a fun Moldorm today. Like, where was the one-eyed, the seven-eyed, the other differently eyed Moldorms? We've had two-eyed Moldorms, and all of the Moldorms were two-eyed. I am disappointed.
We got enough eyes by having 4 Vitreises in the seat. I think I'm all eyeballed out.
So that Wizrobe's one room was actually probably the nicest you could ask for. And yeah, these are some pretty good Wizrobe rooms.
Not any danger here to see. But Adalor has made his way all the way to Bob's room. Going to be dropping into his Ice Trinex here. And just a shadow on the clock room here.
Yes, we can get a Vitreous on Moldorm 2 as well.
Yes, I think Trinex is about one of the only bosses you can't get there.
Yeah, we could see Cold Stare, Vitreous, Helm.
Armos, I don't think you can see, but that's not dangerous at all.
Well, and I think depending on the boss, we might actually see Cazed and Hover here.
Oh, is that something in his repertoire?
Yeah, he's done it on occasion. I don't know if he'll do it for a Vidi fight.
Yeah, that could be pretty rough if it hits you while you're in midair, which I think those eyeballs can get pretty far as we see him going off to the top.
So we do not get to see the hover. Kazin, though, giving us Moldorm's last possession, or I guess in this case, Vitreous's last possession.
That was a really nice ice Trimax there by Adalor, getting their big key in chest number 20, opening up just in a little different order.
Yeah, I would say probably saved a little bit of time. Unfortunately, it might just be a little too late in this case.
Kazin with a nice triple on there on Naga 2.
And I think all three of those shots did hit, and I think that's another double. So looks like a 3-2 so far. Just need one more. Yep, 3-2-1.
And down goes the Wizard, and off for the final fight of the game goes Kazin very shortly.
Now, of course, Kazin is a little low on magic. I think he has a potion. If not, Pyramid Fairy did offer blues, so should be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure Kasten's heart is racing, and dropping in with like no magic, I would have to imagine he knows he has a potion in his pocket.
Yeah, he wouldn't have risked that. Gonna set up here, trying for the 1-1. I think he missed the double spin there, though. Did he?
Yeah. So going for a 2-1 here, although not an ideal setup for the second phase.
Yeah, this might become a 2-2. Yep, this is going to be a 2-2.
Well, we know that probably is not going to make a lot of difference here, as Adalor is in the gauntlet on their way to the Moldorm 2 fight.
We are in phase 3 now for Kazin. We'll see where those silvers, were.
Spoiler alert, they're not anywhere today.
Yeah, they're in a different game. Let's find out what game it is. Sure, the leftmost tiles will stay up. Oh, that's a new one for me.
Okay, looks like he's got a green and a blue. So well equipped here. Got the torch glitch. Just needs 12 spins to win.
Nice setup for a triple here. Ooh, just missed that one on the bottom right corner. Those corners can be really bad.
Oh, I think just missed getting that one. Only going to be a double on this phase. But overall doing a really nice job here, getting those torches lit just as Ganon is about to land. And there is the 12th spin. Ganon is exploding, and Kazin has sent his team, JKLOL, to the championship round.
Yeah,
Get your
needs to cross that bridge now, and does so, finishing in first with an official time of 1:51:53. GG's to Kazin and Team JKLOL.
Yes, and Adalor is going to, on Vidi right now, going to finish out this seed and end on a high note for Adalor and for Oops All Foxes this season.
But we are now joined by Kazin. GG's.
GG.
Congratulations on your Game 4 victory. Is this your third Game 4 victory out of 3?
I believe so, yeah.
Kazin is averse to us playing Game 5, apparently.
I try.
Kazin, we do have one burning question for you.
Sure.
Why not check dungeon maps?
Dungeon maps.
Like to find out who the boss is.
Checking the map when you get the compass.
You know, honestly, I completely forgot that was a thing, but it didn't bite me.
We figured
so,
that out.
that's so new, and I haven't played that many Enemizers since they added it. I forgot it was a thing, and we scheduled this kind of last minute, didn't get any practice in, or just kind of had to jump into it. So
Yeah, well,
I
it
was
didn't
just
really
following stuff and seeing what happened and what was where.
And yes, Adalor getting a nice 3-2-1 on Aga 2. Well, so just about to drop in on the Ganon fight. But yeah, I guess, early first thoughts on, this seed.
Finding boots in Ice Palace, that was not a good moment. Because if you go back to Challenge Cup, when I raced Adalor, this was kind of a rematch of sorts. He beat me because of progression in Ice Palace. So when I saw that, I was like, oh great, we're going to have a repeat of this. So I was pretty concerned.
Adalor into phase 2 on Ganon here. Got to get 12 slashes in.
Yeah, decides to burn through that magic and also has that green potion. So Adalor will get a 1 for phase 2 here.
Very nice. On to phase 3. Yeah, but if you didn't know by now, Kaysden, Adalor also last located those boots. I think you both had checked pretty much everything in the entire overworld and underworld.
Yeah, he mentioned that at the end. He's like, yeah, he felt behind when he found him. He's like, I did too. So at least we're kind of in the same boat there.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to go with kind of the differences on this ending, Kaysden clearing Thieves Town when you were first into VOO really helped. Adalor went up to Turtle Rock without Quake Medallion. Also, Adalor full cleared Thieves Town when he went back, as well as full clearing Swamp Palace. So those were kind of the big differences. Adalor could have gotten probably a little bit of an advantage going that Master Sword in Eastern Palace. Adalor actually was going to go to Eastern before you did.
Okay.
But got sniped by that pokey and decided to join you on the mountain. So both of you having to make that additional climb for Mirror and Pearl.
Yeah, that was such a gross start.
Wait, was that an untimed slash by Adalor?
That was, yeah.
Oh man,
it's just
those like 3 frames when he's vulnerable.
Yo, that's swag. Like, I don't care. That is just the swaggiest move.
And GG's to Adalor, finishing off the Big Pig here, crossing the bridge at a time of 1:56:18. And unfortunately ending Oops All Fox's season, but a very good show this year, ending in the conference finals. So we will see if Adalor is able to join us in chat for a brief interview. And here we are, joined by Adalor. GG's to you, and congratulations on finishing out.
Hello, geez. That save was a little bit dumb.
Yeah. We were just talking about that Mirror and Moon Pearl combo right before you joined us in chat. Yeah, and obviously in hindsight, we saw that there was that sword in Eastern Palace, which you were going to a little bit earlier, but ended up taking that death to that pokey. And
yeah, I in hindsight regret not using that early cape more judiciously, because that would have probably saved me a good probably 3-4 minutes, honestly. That I like it. At early death outside of EP, like at first I was like, oh whatever, that's not a bad overworld death, but in hindsight that hurt a lot more than I thought it did initially.
Yeah, I don't think you had the bow, so you wouldn't. Oh well, technically you don't need the bow in Enemizer.
Oh,
to get
there was no bow need back there.
Yeah.
Logical need, but it's not going to stop anyone from just going back.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that Moon Pearl was very interesting there. Do you want to ask? No one did Spike Cave immediately after getting the Moon Pearl. Was that a conscious choice because there was just so much of the Dark World now open, or just I'll just get this later, or what was that?
I was not thinking about Spike Cave at that time. I'm just like, I don't even know if I don't even know I had to really have the yeah, wasn't thinking about it. I'm like, oh, that just the Moon Pearl opens up so much. I'm like, I'm gonna go anywhere that looks good.
Yeah, there's just so much available. It's like we're coming back up to the mountain for Turtle Rock and Dark Death Mountain most likely anyway. You know, let's just go do the things that are available because there was a lot.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It was a really cute placement, though. Going up the mountain the first time, like only one sword, obviously, so I had to climb it again. I'm like, read the thing, and I'm like, oh, there's that mirror I need to get that Moon Pearl I saw. Where's the second sword?
Yeah, I mean, how often is the Ether Tablet something, or even when you find it, you can't get it? Like, it's super rare, and then to have it be
you climb the mountain, you're like, oh, well, there's our Moon Pearl. I guess we're getting a mirror pretty quick. Then you get around to Ether Tablet. It's like, well, there's our mirror. I guess there's a sword out here somewhere. Another sword, I should say.
Really, just a really neat early game progression chain. Usually, you don't see stuff like that, so it's cool. It's unique in that way. Just the late game kind of sucks, making you dig for green pendant for the Quake, and then you gotta go to Ice Palace map chest for the boots. Just do your pendants, I guess.
Did you clear the rest of Ice Palace, or did you bail with boots?
No, that was boots go mode. I at that point I knew there was obviously a possibility of a Trinex, but I knew I was behind. I knew I had to bank on there not being a Trinex in my way and just not finding the ice rod because there's one item
mindset. Yeah. Then we go clear desert. Like, oh, cool, we're actually in go mode. Let's go.
Free ice rod, yeah. But before that, I'm like, there's only one item left here. I have to just go for it.
Yeah.
Because even if I don't, like, I'm already behind. So whatever. If there's an ice Trinex,
I didn't even finish clearing right side desert. I got the big key. It's like, this room sucks. I'm out of here.
I did grab that one because it's like a few seconds to get to that chest and then a quick mirror. So I'm like, what? This chest is
I intended to, but that room was the bomb guys and then the ball and chain guard. They were just not in good positions for me. It's like,
that's fair.
Done with this. Let's just go. So I just left.
Yeah, that's I think justifiable on both. Kaysen also skipped left side swamp, didn't do back at Thieves Town. That's pretty much a majority of where the time difference came from.
Yeah.
You both kind of cleared Skull Woods pretty efficiently and did pretty much everything that the other had done, and then both last locationing into Ice Palace. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to go up the mountain and possibly go into Turtle Rock as opposed to going into a pendant ice when you're just looking for boots. So
exactly, yeah.
Both did. Any thoughts, Adelor, on why did you choose Enemizer for this matchup?
There's a part of me that wanted to also pick Inrosia because I like the mode and I think I would have a decent shot at it, but I'm pretty sure Kaysen likes Inrosia more than me and is probably better than me on the average at it. So I thought Enemizer could be kind of a wild mix-up and possibly just like, I don't know, trip someone up.
It's a good equalizer mode because just so much random stuff happens. It's like you can't really practice for Enemizer or prepare.
You can't.
You just have to get good.
Yeah, like the only thing I was able to really practice today was just like, I'm just gonna go fight Ganon a bunch of times and just get more comfy with the fight. But like I play Enemizer a bunch in like multi-worlds and stuff, so it's a very kind of comfy setting for me having enemies shuffled. I'm just used to. I've seen all the stuff, like all the common Enemizer dumb things, like the spikes on Pod Bridge and the last bridge and
this seed we got that early cape and it's just
it was
well that kind of just negates most of the.
It was so nice.
Like at us, like okay, let's just go. This should be pretty straightforward at this point.
Yeah, it gave us 3 swords really nice, and the cape was just super early. It's like, oh, this is just a nice kind of friendly seed overall. It wasn't really that difficult in the Enemizer sense. We only had one Trinex on ice, which still wasn't even that bad. By the time we got there, you're so built up for it.
Oh yeah, we had so much equipment. Even with a hard item pool, we had as much as we possibly could. So
yeah,
I think I had 2 blue goos and a green. I
Mhm.
used one of the blues on Trinex and
I
just kind of
had
brute forced my way through it.
Yeah, I ended up burning a blue on that and just like spamming fire on the ice head. Kind of like, I just want this thing dead.
Yeah, excuse me, Enemizer being an equalizer is very true there, yeah. Kasten, JKLOL, you guys are going to be facing off in the finals against either the Last Locationeers or Bottles on Empty. Have you had a chance to watch any of their matchups so far?
I've caught a couple here and there, but between our own matches and practice and work and everything else going on, I haven't caught a lot. But yeah, definitely going to be following the end of their series and see who we're going to be facing.
Yeah, they're actually playing game 3 right now on SpeedGaming 4. How about my co-com, Radical Sniper? Have you any thoughts about your potential new opponent?
I think what we've talked about in general is just kind of, I think you look at both the teams, and I think, the 4 teams who are left, I'll say weren't the most surprising from our viewpoints. I think Adalor would agree. Like, you look at the teams who made the playoffs, and you're like, who do I think is going to be there in the end? And like the other 3 from our perspective were the same. Like, yeah, I could see these teams being the ones we're going to face off against, and to see Locationeers and Bottles on the other side with Foxes and us here, like, I think that's kind of no shock and awe for anybody.
Yeah, definitely some easy picks in terms of who you think's going to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that point in the playoffs where everybody's good, and you just have to play your best and hope it comes out in your favor. Any more thoughts from either of our runners on today's seed or anything else?
No, not really. It's been fun. It's been an absolute blast. Didn't think we'd get this far, but here we are, top 4. It's very cool. I'm glad I get to relax, I guess. Now we're done, so I can just chill and like enjoy the holidays and watch the rest of it play out. So good luck to you guys in the finals, to you 2 and Leo. I'm looking forward to that match to see how it plays out. Yeah,
GG's, and yeah, thanks for the restream. As always, it's always fun.
Great.
Sweet.
Well, with that, be sure to check out, by the way, those other 2 teams racing right now on SpeedGaming 4. And tomorrow we have some invitational matchups on one of our SpeedGaming channels, I'm sure, between the Titans Mitts and Skull Kids. That is game 1 in the invitational matchup. But for everybody here,
conference finals starting early there.
Yeah.
Usually that would have been a Monday start, but they are starting a day early for conference finals invitational side, trying to get as much done as possible.
Oh, they are weird. Okay, well, that works.
Yeah.
The holidays, I don't blame them. If you can get games in, might as well.
Yeah, we were gonna have schedule weirdness with the holidays anyway. If we had a game 5, it was just gonna happen tomorrow right away. So
yeah, we had like an hour-long back and forth trying to figure this whole thing out.
We had a big conversation last night trying to figure out how to schedule it, because Kaze and I were originally gonna play Sunday, and we're like, well, I think we need to play Saturday now so that the game 5 has a chance to happen on Sunday, because of
without having to change who's playing what, because that's the main
people
thing.
going to
keep
visit family,
lineups.
and Zaru got an awful retail schedule. It's just like, we had to flex things around, but we made it work. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely go check out the race over on SpeedGaming 4. That is, as Dapper said, the 3rd game of the series. So what we can say is there will be a game 4 at some point. We don't know when, but that series tied up currently 1 game apiece. So this is for control in the series, really. But thank you again to our tracker today, Leoria of Light. And Dapper, it has been a pleasure to come with you again.
Same to you, Radical Sniper. Thank you very much for having me today.
But that will do it for us here. I don't know if there's a mod to send us over to SpeedGaming 4 on a raid, but I would say go watch that race. It's probably another hype matchup. So have a good rest of your day here, and thank you all for watching.